Good evening, lords and ladies. DJ CraigE live here with the Behind the Fang podcast with my awesome co-host, Ming, Xiao, Clementine Wu, and our special guest, Infernal, Kylie Fang. Welcome.
Hello, Lady Ming, Lord Craig. It's always a pleasure.
It's
Yes,
a pleasure
sure
and an honor. Thanks for joining us.
It sure is. It's always a pleasure to see you. Okay, so starting it off, we got our famous line here. So Ming, you want to take it?
This is going to make you famous, Lady Kylie. Who's your daddy? We want to know. Tell us about your embrace experience.
Oh, that's a bit of a double-edged sword for me. My daddy is the one and only Arch Chano, whom I love and adore. However, my maker was Villain Fang, who turned out to be a wannabe dom that only wanted a slave, and I'm just not that girl.
Lady Kylie is no slave. Don't be trying to tell her what to do.
No collars.
No. Well, maybe on them.
Oh, dear. Close your ears, Craig. Close your ears. So that didn't work out then. What happened? Whatever you want to tell us.
He pretty much blackmailed me into staying in his house for 6 months longer than I normally would have, because one of the girls I turned, he had collared and he was going to make her choose, and I just would not desert her. So I waited until she asked to be released, and then I got my own house issued. And that's pretty much it. I haven't really spoken to him since.
Mm-hmm. So when did you resire to Arch Chano then?
When the resire device was working, of course. Like everybody, I was in on all the... I want to get it done. I was supposed to resire to Parthenia, but then she became a diabolic, so didn't happen.
Yes.
But
so you waited a long time then.
I did. 3 years.
It was down for, I remember, since the beginning of when I started Progeny up until, Kylie, you remember when I resired, I think either the same day as you, up until then, so that was well over a year.
Oh, it was down 3 years. It was down when I was turned.
Oh, wow.
And it didn't come up until, 2 years ago, maybe 3? I don't remember exactly when it was. 28.
So that's a long time.
Yeah.
So your daddy was really a villain, for real. Okay.
Oh, I never called him daddy. And I was pretty much a turn and burn because he didn't believe in... He didn't, for one thing, tell me that this is a combat system and I could be attacked. And back in that day, you could have been killed as a fledgling.
Oh, that's right.
So,
wow. Okay.
I begged and begged for training, but he said, I was never trained, you don't need it.
Well, you beg to differ, huh?
Always question.
Well, it's good you were able to resire then. We're sorry about that bad experience.
Oh, no. I fell in love with the family and the whole progeny system, and so I thank him for it. If it wasn't for him finding me when I was DJing, I would have never even known about Progeny.
Right.
So, I hear all these years later, I'm still here.
Yeah. Everything happens for a reason.
That's right.
Yep. It's like one big story. And so with knowledge comes great power, they say. And with your current Infernal status, what have you learned about Progeny and roleplay?
Interesting question. One thing I've learned over the years is you have to remain calm.
Mm-hmm.
Be respectful to everybody and bite your tongue a lot, especially in meetings.
Yes.
That's good advice. I'm still practicing that.
Yeah, I'm getting pretty good at raising my hand now.
Use the speaker ball, please.
Yeah, when it works.
When it works. Yeah.
And I just find, when you role play, you just can't take it too personal. Make it as fun as you can and as lighthearted, because when it starts getting personal, then it starts not becoming fun anymore,
No, it's just drama. When it's personal, it's just drama. It's not fun.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
If it's like...
and no matter what happens in the meetings, when I leave the meeting, I leave it there.
Mhm.
I don't take it beyond that. It doesn't apply to anything in my progeny.
The role play of it all, like even the meetings itself, is a huge social role play in itself. So I mean, it is.
If you think about it, all of SL is. I mean, where else can I go and meet people from all over the world and pretend I'm a vampire?
Right.
That is true.
So it really is all role play. I don't have a lot of role play experience, but if you think about it, all of Progeny is role play. Some people are better at it, the scripted stuff. I don't have a lot of experience in that, but
yeah,
I'm learning.
Well, and I mean, me too, but before any HUDs or any like combat, remember when it was just the stars and the text and local?
Oh Lord, yes.
Oh. Like you really had to use your imagination then. There was no... talk about...
It's come a long way. It's come a long way, I have to admit, since I was first turned.
Oh, definitely.
And it's ever evolving.
Yes, it is. Thank goodness.
Yeah.
Or thank the demons that made me, I should say.
Yeah. Well, it led you to your current path. So, with that in mind, that leads us to this next question. We would love to hear about the Church Point of Vecchio line, your duties as Arch Advisor, and then the history of how you came to be the Sovereign of La Sombra, the biggest clan in the Church Point of Vecchio line.
I came to this bloodline as a fledgling. At that time, Parthenia was still the Arch, and became my mentor. And I must have driven her crazy with all my questions, but she was always very gracious and taught me a lot. For that, I'm very grateful. Eventually, she issued me my own house, which I built into a very large family. I believe I have 58 sired progeny now. Most of them are still with me.
Nice.
Proudest days I can remember is when she first introduced me to someone as her daughter.
Oh.
Yeah. Eventually, she became a diabolic, and so did my sister Cassie, so the clan was offered to me. Of course, I turned it down. I didn't believe I was ready for that much responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
But Parthenia came to me and convinced me it was pretty much just like running my own house, only on a bigger scale. So I accepted it, and it turned out she was right. A couple of years later, Poppy, who only speaks Spanish, asked me in English to be his arch advisor. I don't know how long it took him to practice that, but it was so adorable, I just couldn't refuse. So now I work side by side with Alejandro Rasier and attending the Arch Conclave and looking out for the good of the entire bloodline. I wouldn't trade it for the world.
That's amazing. That's a great story. Some great history there.
Well, definitely. And even being at one point part of La Sombra, there was a lot of great people that I met throughout your line. I mean, or I should say the clan. I met some great people, and it's kind of overwhelming when you become a sovereign at the very beginning. I get what you mean when you think you're not ready for it. Like, what are you going to do? But you just take it in stride, and
we learned as we went.
build as strong as family as you possibly can.
My house numbers have never been the same since you joined. And then they issued you your house, Craig.
Oh.
My numbers have never been active and peak at the same since.
Oh. And, I thought about that because that happened to me recently, and I was thinking to myself, now I know what she means, because it drives me kind of batty. It's like you look at it and you're like, they should be the same.
No, but I have a peak population of 64, and I don't really need that many in my house. Let's, go.
Wow.
Have your own house or something.
People come and go, and we witness their experience, their personal growth. It's a rewarding experience, I'm sure, for you.
It is, because I believe in sharing my knowledge that I've learned over the years with everybody, especially my family. I want them to learn and grow, learn as much as they can, as much as they want to. And I want everybody to just be themselves, whether that's a furry or a hedgehog or whatever. I encourage them to just be themselves, and that's, I believe, why we are still such a close-knit family.
Well, and that's exactly it. That's the same way I do it too. I must admire that, because I want everybody to feel free to be who they want to be.
Yep.
And that just, it gives people also a feeling of acceptance and a reason to stay, I mean.
That's right. That's right. You respect them, they're going to respect you. It's that simple.
Absolutely.
And so tell us about you're an Infernal, under Diabolic Path, I believe. What duties do you, have?
I am, in charge of, I'm not really in charge of the events committee, but when Diabolic Nesty's retired, Parthenia took it over. And so I work with her on that. That is my job as her Infernal. And I'm in charge of the decorating and the DJs. So anybody out there that wants to be a DJ for a Progeny event, feel free to contact me.
Yeah. Reach out.
Sounds fantastic.
And, this being the 10th anniversary of Progeny, there are some good things coming. Hopefully, real soon, as soon as we can find a place to have them.
Can't wait. It's going to be a big year.
Oh,
yes.
Looking forward to that.
Yes.
Well, okay. So, we've heard about your turning, I should say. Tell us about your first hunt or your first feeding. How did that go?
Oh, Lord. Very first time I went to feed, I was taken to a safe hub, and you know how safe those are.
Oh, yeah.
So I scanned this human who was healthy, but when I went to hit the fangs and actually feed on them, someone teleported in between us, and I didn't notice the name change on the HUD, and I bit a shade. Puked blood all over. It was the grossest thing I'd ever seen. And after that, my maker called me a tree biter for about a year. Said if there was a tree within 100 meters, I'd be biting it. Since then, I've puked blood a couple times. The second time it wasn't so gross. Third time it was kind of funny.
Yeah.
Stuff happens, but man, when that happened, I was really grossing out. He was falling out of his chair laughing because we were on Boys Together.
I could
imagine. That's too funny. That's a common thing. A lot of people have spoken to us about that happens to them the first time. So
you have to pay attention to the name that pops up when you actually go to bite.
Mm-hmm.
You have to.
Definitely.
Even like in a battle now, you don't want to be biting a friend. So, I hit the ignore and just wait the 4 seconds.
Yep.
But sometimes you don't. Some people find it easier to just, hit the ravage or the gentle or whatever and then break it right away. But I don't believe in that. I'm not really.
Yeah.
I don't believe in killing vampires for one thing. I'm totally against it.
Well, definitely.
Ooh.
I will drain them and happily drain them to 10%, but I don't want to kill anybody. I mean, why do that? What's the point of actually killing?
Yeah, unless you're
so they will live to see another day.
That's right.
Fight. Like, I remember when I first started, I used to be all Mr. Tough Guy. Let's fight to the death. And I died a couple times that way.
I don't want to die. I have not been hibernated, and I have never died. Knock on wood. I just knocked on my head. And I don't have a plan to. If you watch that red bar on your head, when it starts turning white, get the heck out of there. Live to fight another day. It isn't worth dying. It's
Absolutely. Don't lose your potency. It's just not worth it. Which does lead us to the next question. So, fang banging. So, your first confrontation with another vampire. So, you must have died back then, and they must not have died.
Jessie Ravenose, and I'm quite sure everybody knows
what happens.
Oh, I do.
She used to.
I don't know. I have no idea.
She used to pop right in front of me when I was out dancing. And just for intimidation purposes to see if I would leave, which I always did because, like I said, my maker didn't believe in fighting, so he would never train, no matter how much I begged. So one day I just got angry and decided to teach myself. So the next time she popped in front of me, I put her on follow and bit her without waiting. And we danced all around Big Daddy's and up into the sky until our heads broke and she TP'd out. Afterwards, I IM'd her and thanked her for the dance and said, let's do it again sometime. And her and I have had some good laughs about that over the years.
That's awesome.
That is. That's a great story. That's
the second one was JR, if you could believe that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I sure can. My brother's been around. That's too funny. Well,
those are great stories.
Yeah, I must say some of my first fighting experiences were with Jessie Ravenose as well, so it's quite the...
Well, for 4 years, I was very neutral. I didn't get involved in any clan disputes or bloodline disputes or anything, and then...
Yeah.
So I'm not really a fighter. I've only been actually doing it for the last month or two, and that's it. So I'm learning. But it's fun, and I only do it for fun. Most of the people I bite are my friends.
Yeah.
And we don't take it personal. It's just for fun. I never bite in anger, ever, because that's just silly.
Right.
Well.
Yep, don't take it personal, just shake it off.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Shake hands and leave the scene. Yes. So now this next question. I love this question. I'm always happy when I get it because it's emphasized. So time is an illusion. So if you can live forever, what would you want to live for? You immortal thing, you.
I'd live for the music. I love music. And I'm a DJ. And no matter how stressful my day has been or my week or my month or whatever, the music always makes it better. So even if I don't feel like going and working, my family convinces me, oh, come on, just do it. You love it. And I always have a great time. So I live for the music, I believe. Part of my life.
There you go. Folks, the music.
Amen.
Which is maybe why I'm in charge of the DJs.
Yeah, well, that's a fun job. That's a fun thing to do for the
Yeah.
Well, and I mean, me and you have that in common. I love to DJ, and music is, how some people paint? That's how we do.
Yep, savage beast.
That's how you express your emotion.
Yes. Yes. And you know when I'm really in a bad mood because I play angry music.
Dark industrial.
Or does it get into the rock and roll?
More like hailstorm in this moment, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
A little bit heavy, but not death metal.
No, I hear you. I like it heavy.
Yeah, that's it exactly.
So they say, my past is everything I failed to be. What, metaphoric scars do you have from your time in Progeny? Like, if you could change anything about your past, is there anything you would?
No, I don't even regret him. I shouldn't have said that. That was just wrong. That's an interesting question, though. I don't really feel like I have any actual scars from Progeny. I love and believe in the system itself, and the source I know has great things coming in the near future, and I respect the Diabolics and their knowledge of the past history of the game. You know, unfortunately, though, there are a lot of people that are only interested in how far they can go and how fast and holding others back while they do it. And that part's kind of sad, but really how boring would it be if we were all acted alike and were brainless robots?
Well, exactly.
It's the variety that makes it fun.
That's truth. Yes, we have a diverse community. It makes it very interesting. Love all the characters.
Like
the good, the bad, and the ugly.
I was going to say, you have your metaphorical good guys, your bad guys, the ugly, as you would say.
Yes. And the ones that walk the in-between.
Mm-hmm.
All creating
the ones that don't even
storylines.
You know, the ones that just keep to themselves.
Yeah. That's true.
So it's, you know, it's how you want to role play your progeny. And I'm all for it. I think everybody should just be who they want to be. But I don't feel like I have any actual regrets from joining Progeny at all.
Oh, definitely. And I mean, regret, yeah, I guess, is a strong word. Like, one thing I would have changed is I definitely wouldn't have sat in certain people's thrones when I was young, you know?
I remember that picture.
Yeah.
You were a bad boy. You were a very bad boy.
Yeah,
yes.
I was like, oh no, and... Well, I'm having you here, so before we wrap up the interview, are there any parting words that you have for our awesome, beloved community?
Learn as much as you can. I mean, the Scribes Guild has all the information we'll need to know, learn about how things work. Ask a lot of questions. Mm-hmm. Try to be respectful even to those you don't like. And just enjoy being a vampire, you know? That's it.
Basically, yeah.
Because it is fun.
And
it's great advice.
Yeah, definitely. And just, you know, take your character and roll with it, right?
Yes, that's exactly right. No matter where it takes you. It's who you are. It's who you want to be. So go for it.
Yep.
There's always time to change it up. Yeah, you can morph at any time. What you put into your character, your role play, is what you're going to get back out. So
that's right. That's exactly right. But I want to thank you for having me here today. Yes. I really appreciate it. I didn't know if I'd ever get an interview like this.
Thank you so much for joining us.
No, it's a real honor to have you here.
It's been fantastic to have you here. It's a true honor. You work hard for the community. We really appreciate you coming and taking your time.
Definitely. You showed me a whole bunch, like, from when I was just a little baby vamp. So, I mean, it's a real honor to have you here. And like I said, or like she said, anybody listening, if you're a DJ and you want to, you know, hop on stage for a Progeny event, give her a holla.
Please do.
Holla for $1 for a Linden, right?
Actually, you know, Progeny vampires tip very well.
They do.
To the DJs.
Yeah,
it's good. They're very generous. Yes.
And it's good to get your name out there, you know, as a DJ, to be respected within the community. It's good to work events.
Yep, get your name out there and meet new people.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
If you love music, that's your way in.
That's it. You know, make friends with everybody. I don't care what bloodline they're in. Make friends with them. Talk to them. Exactly. You never know who you're going to have things in common with.
That's
Just
right.
because your bloodlines may not get along or anything doesn't really mean you can't be friends.
Yep, especially the events are safe and secure.
That's right. Doved.
Yeah, and Dove for that extra little like feeling of safety, you know.
So you don't need to wear all your hats. Just saying.
Well, thank you so much, Infernal Kylie. It has truly been a pleasure. Infernal Ming, you rock.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Until we meet again, y'all. Good night.
Have a wonderful day. Stay safe out there.